Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, for anyone new here, we're diving into our 4th month invested in our Vanguard Junior Stocks and Shares ISA, which I opened back in September of last year for my daughter. In these videos, I tend to do a bit of a market update, and then I'll go into all the details around the portfolio, and we can look at some of the numbers behind the performance. Before I dive into the market update, there's been some considerable news for Vanguard users. Some of the big news that's been making waves recently is the new Vanguard Fees. If you haven't heard, Vanguard announced a flat £4 per month fee for any portfolio value under £32,000. At first, when I heard this news, I was a little bit concerned. However, it was quickly put to bed as the junior ISA accounts are not affected by this change. It means that Vanguard's still a really low-cost option when building a junior ISA portfolio for your children. Now, moving on to the markets, we've seen some big movement over the past week in the run-up to Donald Trump's inauguration. The S&P 500 is up almost 4% this week, and the FTSE 100 followed at just over 3%. AI investor favourite Nvidia and EV maker Tesla both experienced high growth in the past week, with many of the other Magnificent 7 also pushing the S&P 500 higher. Intel also jumped over 13% this week amid rumours that it could be a target for a takeover. Crypto-related stocks surged Friday as Bitcoin jumped as high as $105,000, its highest level in a month. Investors' hopes run high that digital currency will benefit from favourable policies when Trump takes office. Another standout stock this week was MicroStrategy. It's a software maker that's become one of the world's largest holders of Bitcoin, and it's up almost 28%. Another key stock in this sector was crypto exchange Coinbase. This also soared in anticipation of Donald Trump taking office. With all this movement and momentum in the market, it's always great to see how this translates into our portfolio. So let's dive into that and let's take a look at how December ended and also the performance so far in January. Okay, so I've opened up the portfolio on the Vanguard site. You can see here, for anyone new, we invest 100% of all the money in the FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund. This offers us diversification and also over 7,000 companies are within this fund, so your investments are well spread out, and it'll also rebalance depending on the various sort of market performance, if you like. So yeah, every single penny in that one fund, and by doing this, it gives a bit of a hands-off approach to investing, which is what we wanted for this junior ISA. So I'll go over some top-line figures here. I'll move over into performance, I think, first, because I think this will give a better idea. So you can see here on the graph on the 7th of September, we put in just over £500. This was a collection of money from when my daughter was born, from family, friends, that sort of thing. And then our strategy's been fairly simple since then. So myself and my partner add £60 per month, and then essentially any money for Christmas or birthdays also gets put into this. So if we move along here, you can see at the start of October, another £60 went in, and again, another 60 start of November. And then what's happened really in the last month, we've added quite a considerable amount at the start of January. So you can see how the value is then creeped up there. So if I go into the calculations page, or even the month page is probably better, let's have a little look at how that's been built up. So you can see by month here the performance. So we kind of started, January with £764 in there. Since then, we've added our £60 that we do each month, but we've also added an extra £300. So this was a collection of money from friends and family for Christmas. So that's been added in there as well. So quite a big bump up. So £360 added in at the start of January. But then since then, you know, as per the news that we went over there, the markets have been performing really well this month. So outside of that, we've also had a growth of just over, £43, almost £44, which gives us, £94.19 growth since we opened it just in September, with an ending balance of, just under £1,200, which for my daughter, who's sort of 4 or 5 months old, that's quite a substantial bit of money. It's certainly more than I had at that age. But I think what's really impressive here is the rate of return. So, over 14% in the space of 4 months. Now, to give a bit of an idea, if you're thinking about investing, I'll be completely upfront here. That's not a true reflection of what performance would be over 4 months. Like I say, the markets have been really favourable to us. But it does give you a bit of an idea on what the potential could be through investing versus, say, a general savings account. You know, general savings account are around sort of 4%. Is it 4-5% interest at the moment? And that's over the year, and we've managed to get almost 15% within the space of 4 months, which is really, really good. So again here, what we're looking for here is that this number really keeps increasing. Now, we can see the end of December, it did dip. December was what I'd say a bit of a flat month. If anything, the markets did decline slightly. So there was no surprise there to see that. But I think over the long term, which is what this portfolio is all about, it's about investing for the long term. The market will naturally go up and down, but as long as, you know, the curve is kind of going like this overall, despite, you know, the ups and downs, that's what we're looking for. Ultimately, I believe this is a much quicker route to building higher wealth than you would in a simple savings account. So yeah, overall, really, really happy with that. You know, we're up almost £100. You know, £100 that we didn't have 4 months ago. So yeah, really happy with that. If I go over it at the insight page, I always cover this because I like to think if I've had any new viewers, they might want to look at, okay, well, you've said you've invested in that fund, but what really does that look like? And this insight page really gives you a bit of a view of that. So, like I said, this fund invests in over 7,000 companies, but that's split up over the whole globe. So you've got companies from all over the world there. Now you can see here the kind of breakdown. North America obviously holds a high spot there because it's you know, the biggest economy in the world, and also where a lot of the growth has come from in the last 20 years especially. So no surprise that that takes a big spot. Even the UK, we've got 3% in there, so we're not excluded. Europe 10%, Asia Pacific 11%, and then obviously some smaller numbers elsewhere. And then this is a nice graphic, so it shows you the top 10 investments. So of that amount that you have invested, how is that split up? So these are the top 10. So there'll be quite a few names that you'll recognize here, such as Apple, Microsoft, maybe even Nvidia, but Amazon, I'm sure you've probably used before, Tesla as well, and obviously Meta, Facebook as it is previously known. So yeah, and then sector allocation, just a bit of a graphic there showing you how it's split up, and another little graphic at the bottom which shows the last 3 months performance. So yeah, really the strategy is going to be no different going forward. I imagine now for a while it will just be the £60 a month, but the idea is that this value will compound over time, and the idea is by the time my daughter is 18, there'll be quite a sizable amount in there. So there you have it, bit of a brief portfolio update. If you're watching this and you think, well, I'm not looking to invest for a child, or you don't have a child, but you want to invest for yourself, in theory, you could do the exact same, but you just do it through a stocks and shares ISA. So you could choose this exact same fund, this exact same investing approach by investing on the 1st of every month. No matter if that's £10 a month or £1,000 a month, you know, compounding over time is really where the wealth is built. As ever, I'd love to hear how your investing journey's going. If you do anything different, I'd also love to hear about that in the comments section. If you've enjoyed this update, then please do like and subscribe for any future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.